This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
MAFS is over, which means finally we can get to talk to this woman. She wasn't allowed to talk very much while the show was on.
Which really got me. Spoke to her, which really got me upset. And we spoke to her right at the end because everything that came out of your mouth, Lauren Dunn. Hello.
Hello.
Everything
Lauren.
that came out of your mouth to me was like, well, that's what I would say. And it was like you were lifting up, or you were parting the sea of all the bull crap and getting to the truth of what was happening in the moment.
Yeah.
So the reason you weren't allowed to do any interviews was because of the JONO and Ellie thing, right?
Yeah, because they got caught canoodling
On the beach.
and cashing in the beach.
And they didn't want you talking about it.
And essentially just ruined our storyline. So they didn't want me to be able to talk about it. And I'm like, I'm not going to go on radio and sit here and lie and say that we're all great when people with a set of eyes can see that. I mean, Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, so it's out there, and then they're trying to say and your mandate is not to speak about it. That is so you're robbed of not only your experience of finding someone in the show, but also you're robbed from some of the opportunities that come out afterwards. So you're double robbed. When they got caught at the beach. Come on.
I know, right? It was set up.
It was set up. Like, did they set it?
Yes, they did. So they set it up, and they were under the impression that those photos would get released when the time was right to show that they're like this good, true couple.
Yeah, okay.
But then they got papped by someone else unknowingly, and so then all the photos that they'd set up with other paps, they'd release them. Because you know what journalists are like, they want to get the scoop.
Of course. Yeah.
And they just got so shredded for those photos because that was so cringe.
They're still together now.
They are together. They live together. They're very much in love. They are actually a genuine couple.
And I like your attitude to that. Your attitude to that is, they're supposed to be
good for them. They are supposed to be together. He's not my person. I think we could all see that from day one.
Yeah, so Lauren, being on the show and then you're having all these, the relationships are supposed to, you're cheating on me and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Do you feel it that way, or are you just playing the game?
I don't feel like he cheated on me because I have to be perfectly honest. We had a really up and down. I was never in love with him. I never had serious feelings for him. But you do have this sense of that's my partner in this wild experiment. And my main issue is like, you just lied to me. You should have told me, and then we could have left. If you had said, like, I've been messaging Ellie a lot and I think I'm falling for her, we could have left and avoided this.
But is there a feeling that, people want to stick around for as long as possible to maximise opportunities that might come and post-show?
Absolutely.
Because if you leave early, nobody remembers
And I'm not going to sit here and say no. Everyone who says that are lying to you.
That's what I like about you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not packing up everything. I've got my own business. It was so hard to leave work, and you really cannot work while you're there. So if I have to sit it out with someone whose sound of them breathing makes you want to smother them for 3 months, that's what I'm going to do.
So you were beforehand a MAFS viewer, of course. And then you're in MAFS. So coming out, what wouldn't we know as viewers that you didn't know?
So the filming of the dinner parties was probably the most insane thing that I didn't understand. So when you get there, we all get shipped off in different cars, staggered. So we start filming, like, getting ready, like, 9 in the morning.
Whoa.
We might not finish filming till 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then when you go into the cocktail party, right, you're all sitting there, you'll get sent in different times depending on what the drama's about. And then in between that and sitting down at the table, they send us back out to these tents. So each couple's in like a separate tent while each people gets their voxy. It's like Guantanamo Bay. I'm not joking. They're like these green tents with some like old magazines with the papers ripped out and a few bits of chips.
So when they
and you're in there about 3 hours before you go back into the dinner party.
So they make it look
with
like
no
you're all in the cocktail party, and then the guy goes ding ding ding, dinner is served,
and then they're all like, back to your tents.
You're
like you're in MASH.
Really?
And we're the contributors. I was like, do the talent get a drink? And they're like, you're not the talent, you're the contributors. And I was like, oh.
Did they tell you the storylines before? Like, okay, this is happening now. You need to go in there.
No. So what happens is your producer, each couple's assigned a producer. They switch around sometimes, but they ask you specific questions, and by the questions they're asking, you can tell what the night's going to be about, because you don't know what everyone else is saying behind closed doors. So if they're like, have you heard this? Did this person say this? What's going with you on this person? So one night when the muzzle comment thing happened, I kept getting asked, you and Jack having an argument. I'm like, well, I can see where this is going. He's obviously talking shit about me.
Yeah.
So then that night it all popped off, and I got in there and I just baited him all night, just pressing his buttons until he popped.
Good Jack, right? So
Jack.
I mean,
and then he
come
popped.
on. And
it was too easy to wind up.
When we spoke to Jack, and I said to Jack, you were cast exactly to be who you were cast to be.
He did a great job at it.
Yeah. But,
well, it comes naturally too.
So we all know what creature Jack is. Tori, though.
Yeah, disappointing.
She cannot really love him. Are they still together?
They are together. She packed up her entire life and moved to Queensland to be with him or to the Goldie or whatever.
There's rumours of him cheating on her. I've seen that, right?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
But they said, according to all reports, they are living together, very happy. There's lots of photos of them out and about, like walking, exercising, all this kind of stuff. But I don't know. I just feel like she's such an intelligent woman. I just don't feel like she... especially after watching it, I just want.
Yeah,
I'd like
that's
to know
what I would wonder
now.
because when you do watch it, from, which gives you sort of that hindsight for starters, but you're also seeing what they're saying when you're not there.
Yeah,
like there's nothing attractive about the way he speaks about women.
No, and I think as well,
but also, there was nothing attractive about her response to it either. Like I thought every time she made an excuse for him, it was like running fingernails down a board.
Yeah. I think as well, like they stormed out of the reunion because at the reunion, about 6 couples get to see a kind of 20-minute clip of your journey.
Yes,
it's the first time you start to see yourself on television and what you can start to get an idea of what your edit is going to look like.
Yeah.
And it really was exactly what I saw. Like everyone's edit was what I saw.
They got up and left.
They got up and stormed out.
Well, Lauren, you're talking about that edit and the first time you'll be able to see that.
Yeah.
But when you're in it, how do you know how you're being perceived, and are you conscious of, I don't know, setting the right example, I guess, for yourself?
Yeah, well, the thing is with me is I have got this disease where I just can't help but say exactly what I'm thinking, and I'm pretty consistently myself, whether that's to my detriment or not. You can tell how things are going to go for you depending on what the experts say to you on the couch that week. Yeah. So if you've had a week, say the week that I called JONO boring and said, I think I'm going to eat you alive and all this kind of stuff, that week on the couch I got a bit of a grilling, which sets the tone for what that week's going to look like for you.
Oh, God.
But I was also lucky in the sense that a lot of the grillings that I copped on the couch in terms of that pertain to JONO kind of got taken out by the end because of what JONO ended up doing.
So that
that's exciting.
He really did me a solid when he frolicked off with Ellie. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Well, are you listening to any of their... Sorry, I got one more question.
Yeah.
You're not listening to any of the experts? Because we've had David Aiken in here, and I just couldn't... John.
He obviously made a big impression on you.
Oh, Lauren, for years I just didn't want to speak to him because every time I sit there, I go, you're not an expert, mate. You're a phony.
They have direction from producers of about how the show's going, but they are actually awesome, and they do give really good advice. You just don't get to see it. We sit on the couch for like an hour to 2 hours, and you see maybe 5 minutes.
But then again, I mean, off that, if an expert there that is actually looking to make a possible match for people
would never match you in the first place.
There would never be a Jack in there.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
They don't match us. The producers definitely match
exactly.
us.
So so it's all just smoke and mirrors.
Lauren,
now
we want to go to a super fan.
Yes. Do you know Australian netball Caitlin Bassett?
I do. I don't know her, but I know who she is.
Well, she was the captain.
We discovered when Caitlin was filling in for Natalie while she was away that her father, Mike, is a massive Married at First Sight fan.
Way.
We've got him here right now. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Good morning, guys. Good morning, Lauren. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
Fantastic. Now, listen, before we start, I need you to take Sean to task because he's a non-believer.
I know.
I am a non-believer,
I'm sensing that. I can't understand why.
He thinks it's all scripted.
Look, it's not scripted. It's very produced, but it's definitely not scripted.
Mike, this is where you were going to shine.
Interview Lauren.
Well, I do. Were you happy with the edit you got? Did you feel as if they treated you fairly, or they treated you as the crazy girl or the jilted girl, or what? How do you feel about that?
Good question. I think my edit was great. I think they cut out a lot of the really crazy things that I did. It could have been a lot worse. I feel like I obviously was doing something right, giving favours to someone in the editing room. Seriously.
Is there someone who you think their edit wasn't representative of who they were?
I think Sarah copped a bit hard. Like her and Tim were genuine, so you saw genuine emotions and genuine frustration. By the end with me, I was just like, the sound of JONO breathing and just everything annoyed me. But Sarah and Tim, I don't think she got the real like fiery Latina edit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay. Another question, Mike? Anything?
Yeah, because when you first come on,
Yes.
we thought, you're going to be the crazy girl, you're going to go off this
I am
nut and
crazy.
everything. But you didn't. You were quite calm, and
thank you.
It didn't represent you. You come across really well. But now, what's the next thing? You're going on Love Triangle.
Oh my God, no! I think I'm about 15 years old now.
Does Michael watch it, by the way?
Do you? Yeah, I actually watched that. It was actually not that bad.
Yeah.
My producer on MAFS was one of the producers on that show, so I watched it. But I think I've done my dash with dating reality TV. I actually just booked a commercial. You're gonna die. So you know, like the sound people. Apparently, the sound of my voice really either annoys people. They think I'm
love
making
it.
it
It's
up.
raspy.
So it's
a bit,
raspy.
a bit of vocal
I
fry.
booked
Yeah.
a voiceover for an RACQ ad, and guess what it is?
What?
It's a galah.
Funny,
You're playing a galah. Lauren.
My voice. They specifically asked for my voice. Isn't that wild?
That's funny.
Hey, Mike, and not just that,
so funny.
she's doing some amazing gigs as well.
Yes, I'm really
Lauren's
killing
wheeled
it.
in a suitcase today. Where are you off to?
I'm off to Darwin. I'm hosting a few gigs up there, so that's exciting. But yeah,
Darwin's the best place.
I love
It's
Darwin.
a loose town.
Yeah,
it's
it is a
great.
loose town. It's a lot of fun. It's where I belong, I feel.
So you lived there for a while, yeah?
I lived there for a year. A friend of mine, her dad was in the SAS, and they had a sick house up there, and he was deployed. So we went and just ran amok and stayed in his house for nearly a year. It was awesome. I don't know if I'm allowed back, actually.
Mike, congratulations. That is your first. Your first stint as our official Married at First Sight reporter, and I think you've done very well, everyone.
Good job.
Was that a good interview?
Fantastic, Mike. It was so good to chat to you.
We'll
Yeah.
get you back
No
next series,
worries.
Mike.
You look up. Yeah, I will. I'll be waiting with bated breath.
Natalie, you don't know this. Mike made both of his daughters go with him to the Glee movie too.
Mike,
Oh, bless.
what's going on?
Got a real sensitive side.
He's just been Mike, and I love it.
He's just being Mike.
Super, Mike. All right. Thank you, Mike. Lauren, thank you.
Thank
we know
you,
you've got a
Lauren.
plane to catch this morning. We can't
Yes.
wait to see you as a
You're
galah.
great.
Thank you. I look at the galah, honestly.
So good.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.